Joe Hughes doing a fantastic job here, the assistant starters today, lining these guys up.
Yeah, they tell me there's nearly 100 years experience in there, but experience of what? I don't know, but they're doing a good job.
I would have said...
Makes it easy with having two on there instead of...
I would have said between the two of them was probably 100 plus years.
Well, standing look that old.
Yeah. Rightio. They're looking pretty happy here. Tape's going away. They go from the outside. Dave Gannon and Raymond George got a fairly good start, and they look like they're going to be the first ones into the turn. The 98, the 8 is it Nathan Ching and Shane McWilliams sitting there in that second place. Then Tim Plummer and Sian Plummer from Rosebank are sitting there in that third place. Through they come. It's the 4 bike. Dave Gannon, Raymond George. Down into that permacoat roofing turn they go. Just with a bit of an advantage now over Nathan Ching and Shane McWilliam, who are sitting there in second place. Third place, the 71, Tim and Sian Plummer. There's a wee bit of a slowdown from Nathan Ching as he came through the Seabright blasting paint turn, but didn't lose a lot of ground, and Tim Plummer and Sian Plummer didn't gain a lot of ground either. They've spread themselves out a fair bit here now as they go through into the Talking Heads here turn once again. It's Dave Gannon and Raymond George getting the white flag.
Yep, no, they're going through there. Of course, this heat's the first one after the track maintenance. He's a wee bit greasy in the 1 or 2 spots, and you can see the bikes are just taking it a little bit tentatively, but they're not going to change anything in this one as they swing on home. It'll be 4K. David Gannon and Raymond George from Kiki will take the win over 8. Nathan Ching and Shay McWilliam. Third place will be Tim and Sian Plummer from Rosebank on that 71 bike. So we're waiting for them to come in. I see a couple of them have done pretty good at changing their numbers. They've got some professional numbers done for them to go over the top of their one, so it's much appreciated. A bit of a late change there. They're all in, they're just waiting for Kevin McDonald and Carl Hosey. Kevin's having a good look there, trying to find out which is his best starting spot, as Carl's waving to us. Perhaps he can still hear. Anyway, their starters are happy. The Revs build. Ato and
Scott Ato, Dylan Carney.
Oh,
they will be parked up, I would imagine.
Just went a little bit.
Just read it that a little bit wrong. So unfortunately for Scott Ato, Dylan Carney, they will go to the infield. Takes
racing. And off we go, and down on the inside it's Paul Humphreys, Patrick Larson who's got the jump, Kevin McDonald, Carl Hosey sit out a little bit wider on the track. They open up the door, but they get some drive still. The Rileys just couldn't make the most of it as they swing on round, so they slot into the second position. Jason and Brandon Riley in that third on the 39 bike, but out in front of the field, Paul Humphreys and Patrick Larson. Just watch the lines he's taking, mid-corner out there, going up close to the wall. Sono sound system side, then swing down. This time he's a wee bit closer, but comes out wider on the turn. So Paul Humphreys, Patrick Larson from Palmerston North. Similar line there, he's drifted a wee bit wide that time, and McDonald and Hosey just close up a fraction, so still not quite as much drive out there, Pete. Third place is Jason and Brennan Riley.
So white flag comes out, 1 lap left to run. It's still Paul Humphreys, Patrick Larson as they head down into that Rogers Yamaha turn, and through that permacoat roofing turn they go. Out they come. Kevin McDonald and Carl Hosey have closed it up just a fraction, but it won't be enough to do it, I don't think. Jason and Brandon Riley still there in that third place, but it's the 78 bike of Paul Humphreys and Pat Larson that will take the win from Kevin McDonald, Carl Hosey on the 23 bike, and then the 39 bike of Jason and Brandon Riley.
74.75 is the winning time for 78, Paul Humphrey and Patrick Larson from Palmerston North. Revs start to ride, the starters pull away. racing this time, and who is it that gets away the good start? That's pretty tight there. I think it's a 24. Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat made the hole. They've got through to the front of the field from 88. Josh Wells and Regan Fleck in that second position. Ricky Kane, Joe Broden Johnson sitting out wide, holding the third on the 86 bike, and rounding out the field is the 22 of Daniel Harper and Brad Waddock. But it's going a bit wider this time. Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat just leading the way. They've pulled out a couple of bike lengths over the 88 of Josh Wells and Regan Fleck from Aussie. Ricky Kane, Broden Johnson coming under a little bit of pressure now from 22 Daniel Harper and Brad Waddock, although they've still got a couple of bike lengths. They've just picked the pace up a little. But out the front, down the extreme carts, back straight they go. Bradley Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat from Oreti leading the Aussie pairing, Wells and Feck at this stage. Kane and Johnson from Aussie in third.
So through they come. It's still Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat leading the way. The 88 of Josh Wells, Regan Feck just gone back a little there, but still in that second position. Third place is Ricky Kane, Broden Johnson, and fourth place the 22 Daniel Harper and Brad Waddock. Well, what a great ride there from Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat to take the win on that 24 bike over the 88 of Josh Wells and Regan Feck. And then the third position going to the 86 of Ricky Kane and Broden Johnson. Fourth place going to Daniel Harper and Brad Waddock.
74.78. 74.78 was the winning time.
Right, heat 9. This will be an interesting one. The 1NZ, Richard Hall and Alistair Horn from Palmerston North. The 74 of Corey Lang and Gus Elliott. The 34 of Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey. And the 18 of Wayne and Damien Bryce. The system starters all set. They're happy. Tapes going, away they go. The 1NZ of Richard and Alistair Horn look like they got into the turn one first, but through they come. Second place is Jason and Johnny Casey, Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey. Third place is Wayne and Damien Bryce, and fourth place is Corey Lang and Gus Elliott. Third place, and fourth place is Wayne and Damien Bryce. Through they come.
Oh, challenge coming there from the second position. Corey Lang, Gus Elliott, right on the tail of Jason Kennedy and John Casey. Had an opportunity there. They've drifted out wide this time. Have they got the momentum? They're trying to square the corner off. The New Zealand champions, Richard and Alistair Horn, are well out in front. But Jason Kennedy, John Casey, they've recovered a bit. Oh, they got that wrong. And they all walk up. Then the Burrows coming. Oh, well. The Wayne and Damien Burrow came worse off of that one. They had they forced themselves infield as they're trying to take evasive action. But the white flag's out, Pete. Still that battle for that third place.
So Jason and Jason Kennedy, Johnny Casey still there in that second place. Third place is still Corey Lang and Gus Elliott. Wayne and Damien Bryce feel they've been done a bit of an injustice, and they probably have. But Richard Horn and Alistair Horn, they'll take the win from Jason Kennedy, Johnny Casey in that second place, and third place going to Corey Lang and Gus Elliott.
Well, yes,
so as we say, we can watch the replay on the Southern Bolts and Fasteners replay here. We will see what happens. And it definitely looked like Wayne and Damien Bryce did take a little bit of evasive action.
Well, that was the start. It was later on in the race.
So Southern Bolts and Fasters, heat 10 in round 2. Chris Early, Nathan Davis, the 72 bike from Oreti in gate 1. From Palmerston North, Glenn Murray and Ann Plummer on the 21 bike in gate 2. Jason Harper, Mark George, the 16 bike are in gate 3. And the 17 bike from Oreti, Grant Lightfoot and Phil Rooney, gate 4.
All in line, Pete.
They're looking pretty good.
Yep.
Tapes go and away they go. It looked like the 21 Glen Murray and Plummer got a pretty good start. Round the outside, Jason Harper, Mark George sitting there in second from Chris Early and Nathan Davis, who are there in third place. Then we've got Grant Lightfoot and Phil Rooney rounding them out in fourth place. Well, there's a couple getting out of shape at Chris Early, Nathan Davis. But anyway, it's still out front. Glenn Murray and Plummer from Palmerston North. Jason Harper, Mark George sitting there in that second place. Third place still Chris Early and Nathan Davis, with Grant Lightfoot and Phil Rooney in that fourth position. There's a bit of pressure going on here as Chris Early, Nathan Davis, Grant Lightfoot and Phil Rooney head down into turns 1 and 2. Once again, Grant Lightfoot gets it all wrong. But look at Glenn Murray and Plummer. They've opened it up by 10, 15 bike lengths over Jason Harper, Mark George sitting there in that second place. Chris Early and Nathan Davis still there in third place, and fourth place Grant Lightfoot and Phil Rooney.
Well, Glenn Murray and Ann Plummer, they've really stretched the rest of the field. We've lost a bit of an excitement with the battle for those minor places. Lightfoot's still on the track, but I think he'll be excluded from it. He won't get any points, but he did come in field. So it's the win goes to 21. Glenn Murray and Ann Plummer over your local combination. 16, Jason Harper, Mark George. Third place, 72, Chris Early and Nathan Davies. We're having a bit of a battle on there, and we did finish, but I think came in field.
Rightio folks, race 22 in the program at the Sidecars at round 2, heat 11, the Southern Bolts and Fasteners. New Zealand Sidecar Champs qualifying. James Douglas and Ricky Pubbin from Oreti, the 44 bike, gate 1. Bevan Nuttridge, Carl Foster from Moore Park, the 54 bike, gate 2. The 95 of Irwin Tree and Nigel Cookow will be in gate 3 from Oreti, and Jamie Pockington and Nathan Cannon also from Oreti into gate 4 on the 32 bike.
Oh, there's a bit of a dispute over places here. There's James Douglas, Ricky Pubbin on 1.
Bevan Nuttridge, Carl Foster should be in gate 2.
Yeah, they're on the wrong one. 54 should be over on 2.
54 and 2. But anyway, James Douglas, Ricky Pubbin, they're set down there. We're just waiting on Bevan Nuttridge, Carl Foster to move into line. Irwin Tree, Nigel Cookow set and ready. Jamie Pockland, Nathan Cannon there ready to go as well.
Racing we go, and who's it going to be? They're trying to crowd. Oh, a bit of contact there as they close up. Irwin Tree's had to back off and got stuck in behind, and he's at the tail of the field. Meanwhile, out front, it is 44. The 44, James Douglas and Ricky Pubbin. A big battle going on for that second place. Bevan Nuttridge down on Carl Foster down on the inside. Ponkington, Jamie Ponkington, Nathan Cannon on the outer. They're fighting through the turn. Looks like Nuttridge has got the line, but he's run out too wide. Irwin Tree makes a fantastic move down the inside to move up from 4th to 2nd. So they swing through that right turn. Out in front, James Douglas, Ricky Pubbin are doing the business. It's Tree and Cookow, the big movers in this one. They've got up to the second place and holding it quite comfortably from Ponkington and Cannon. Down at the back of the fields, Nuttridge and Foster. The pace is on out front as they swing on round. They'll pick up the white flag. Douglas and Pubbin go through.
Douglas and Pubbin still there in first place. Irwin Tree, Nigel Cookow, they've made up a hell of a lot of ground after an early bit of a blue as they went down into turns 1 and 2. Third place still Jamie Pockington, Nathan Cannon. Fourth place still Bevan Nuttridge and Carl Foster, but make no bones about it, the checkered flag for James Douglas and Ricky Pubbin. Irwin Tree, Nigel Cookow will be pretty happy with that one after a bit of a blue earlier on in the race, coming in there in second place. Third place going to Jamie Pockington and Nathan Cannon, and fourth place going to Bevan Nuttridge and Carl Foster.
Well, I don't think they didn't sort of make much of a blue. It's just they got tight down there. Jamie Pockington and Nathan Cannon came down quite early in that race, and they crowded the field, and the Irwin Tree just popped out the back there.
Okay, folks, here we are, the couple of rounds down of the New Zealand Sidecar Championships, 44. That's pretty much, JD, the best race you've had so far. It's obviously a good start and just sort of cruised away with it a wee bit.
Yeah, the track's pretty slick out there in that first heat. We certainly struggled with the first heat out for the day, so the track was real wet. Ended up getting third, which was terrible, so we really need another win, and yeah, hopefully we can get through the Repechage at least.
Well, that's what it's going to be, because if you don't win every single race, you're in trouble, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right, eh? Yeah, you can't do much about it, I guess.
You got some people putting off behind us, eh?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to him shortly, eh?
Yeah.
Alrighty, so what's the plan now? So obviously you got to try and get at least another win under your belt and see what happens with the Repechage.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully we can do something in this next heat. It's got quite a hard heat, so yeah, we'll change the bike a little bit, and yeah, hopefully all goes well.
Okay, well, anything we can do is wish you the best of luck. Sponsor look after you on the bike?
South Coast Customs, Perium Hedge Cutting, Extreme Carts, An Eye for Design, Winter Motorcycles, Rollbush Transport, and Crash and Signs. I forgot anyone.
There we go. Well done, mate, and best of luck for the rest of the meeting.
Cheers, Jason.
Rightio, folks, won't be too long. We'll be back underway with round 3 of the Southern Bolts and Fasteners New Zealand Sidecar Champs qualifying heats. And we should be seeing coming out in gate 1 the 24 of Brad Sharp and Lance Jeffcoat from Oreti, the 53 of Ben Morris and John Erskine from Moore Park, the 39 of Jason and Brandon Riley from Moore Park, and the 1NZ of Richard and Alistair Horn from Palmerston North, who will be in gate 4. So Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat, gate 1, Ben Morris, John Erskine, 53, gate 2, the 39 of Jason and Brandon Riley, gate 3, and gate 4, the 1NZ of Richard and Alistair Horn.
Well, the horns are out on the outside here. Just getting in. Joe Hughes is bringing right up past that wheel on the line. That's take a little bit further back. The red, off they go, and who have we got is this down on the inside. Oh, what a good start. Bradley Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat, tearing around the outside with the horns, and they have to slot back into second position. Looks like it's Jason and Brandon Riley holding third at this stage with the 53, Ben Morris, John Erskine in that 4th spot. But there's a battle looming out here at the front of the field. The 24, Bradley Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat, oh, they've gone out wide. Have they got the momentum? Yes, through that loose little bit there, they've still managed to pull away. They're out in front from the Richard and Alistair Horn holding that second position. They now tighten up this turn as they come down, click another lap off, and they've actually made an advantage in through that Rogers Yamaha turn. They're sitting mid-tractional, there's that loose spot, but they're just so far ahead, still got some momentum, it doesn't make too much difference. So it's Bradley Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat leading them round. They'll pick the white flag up, Pete. Richard and Alistair Horn in that second spot.
So here we go. Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat leading. Oh, Richard and Alistair Horn have got it all wrong as they go through.
No, they stopped.
They stopped.
They stopped. There's a thing, not sure, did I see any? There was a red flag out. Their boys are ready. Off we go. Who's the start this time?
So
Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat. They've got there in the end. They've drifted out a wee bit wide, opened the door up for the Rileys to come on through. The champions went round the outside, the Horn boys, but they didn't get the momentum on that slick bit, and it's allowed Sharp and Jeffcoat to get back in front. So take 2, and it's the same, although this time Richard and Alistair Horn might be a little bit closer. They've tightened up that permacoat roofing turn. The momentum's with Bradley Sharp and Lance Jeffcoat. They keep the pace up. They can go a little bit wider, just get the bike turned. Trying to get some drive, but the Horns are chasing pretty hard. It's neck and neck. There's half a bike in it this time. Into the Rogers Yamaha turn they go. Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat drifted out a little bit wide. The challenge coming from the inside. Richard and Alistair Horn just moving up. They've slotted in behind again. How's Bradley Sharp going to take this turn? He tightens it up a little. Still only a bike length in it, Pete.
So
White flag.
Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat still just narrowly ahead of Richard and Alistair Horn as they come out of that permacoat roofing turn. Down the back straight they go for the final time. They swing into the talking heads here turn. Brad Sharp, Lance Jeffcoat, Richard and Alistair Horn come wide round the outside. It's a drag to the line. There was only a half or 3/4 of a bike length in it. And the win going to Brad Sharp and Lance Jeffcoat on that 24 bike over the 1NZ of Richard and Alistair Horn from Palmerston North, having to be content with second. And 3rd place there going to Jason and Brandon Riley.
I see we've got the wee offshoot there to get them across and out of the track pretty quickly, but it's a shame with a race like that those front bikes can't go fully round the track, whereas I'm sure they would have got a great
an ovation as it
from
were.
the crowd.
Right, down in gate 1, the 7 bike from Nelson, Knuckle Hill and Sean Solly. In gate 2, Luke Thwaites, Neville Chalmers. Gate 3 is Wayne and Damien Bryce from Moore Park. And the 44 of James Douglas and Ricky Pubbin round them out here on the 44 bike in gate 4. Southern Bolts and Fasteners, round 3, heat 2 of the New Zealand Sidecar Champs qualifying. Tapes up and away they go from gate 2. It looks like Luke Thwaites and Neville Chalmers got the best of it. Round the outside of them, James Douglas and Ricky Pubbin looking for that bit of drive, and they get it. They put their nose in front. Luke Thwaites, Neville Chalmers back to second. Third place is Knuckle Hill, Sean Solly from Nelson sitting in that third position. And fourth place is Wayne and Damien Bryce. Wayne and Damien Bryce actually snuck back in front into that third place. But out in front, it's the 44 of James Douglas and Ricky Pubbin as they head down into that Newfield all those turns. Luke Thwaites, Neville Chalmers keeping tight down on the pole line as they come through and head down into turns 1 and 2 again. The 18 of Wayne Bryce and Damien Burrows still sitting there in third place, and Knuckle Hill, Sean Solly having to be content sitting there in fourth. James Douglas, Ricky Pubbin once again, smooth as you like through the Hayes and Sons turns. Luke Thwaites and Neville Chalmers not giving up. They're pretty close to them as they head down through into that Rogers Yamaha turn. They keep it tight. James Douglas, Ricky Pubbin up in the middle of the track. They actually come out a wee 4 or 5, 6 bike lengths ahead of them as they head down into turns 3 and 4 once again. They go up and wide. Luke Thwaites, Neville Chalmers get pretty close to them. There's a battle royale on here. The 29 of Luke Thwaites, Neville Chalmers just get their nose in front. The race is over.
Yeah, the race is over.
The race is over.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure what you were doing, Pete.
I wasn't watching the flags, I was watching the bike. That was...
Oh, I let you go. I thought you might have run out of here. I let you go on that one, but no. James Douglas, Ricky Pubbin, they just snuck in there. They drifted out a bit wide. What a challenge from the inside from Luke and Neville.
Rightio, Southern Bolts and Fasteners, round 3, heat 3. Mike Warwood, Stephen Burrows, the 96 bike, they're down in gate 1. The 23 of Kevin McDonald, Carl Hosey, they'll be in gate 2. The Oreti boys, Josh Wells and Regan Feck on the 88 bike, also representing Oreti, but from Australia in gate 3. Then gate 4, Paul Anderson, Nick Case from Ruapuna on that 28 bike are out here in gate 4.
Mike Warwood, Stephen Burrow. Burrow just getting up. Kevin McDonald, Carl Hosey. Hosey gets himself in position. Regan Fink just forward. So to his Case. Racing this time, and it was the 88. Josh Wells, Regan Figure got a good start. They head themselves just narrowly into the turn ahead of Kevin McDonald, Carl Hosey. Oh, he got taily there. Has come in field. So it leaves the door open for the rest of them. Who we got going round? I think it's the 28 of Paul Anderson. Nick Case has moved up into that second position from 96. Mike Warwood and Stephen Burrow. But out in front, Josh Wells, Regan Fleck just starting to pull away. These other two Christchurch combinations will have a wee bit of a battle for that second place. Currently it's Paul Anderson and Nick Case just drifting out a little bit wide. Mike Warwood, Stephen Burrow just closed up. They're now changing lines, trying to keep it tight on that turn. Anderson's gone a bit wide. More Warwood's got some momentum, powers through. Oh, a wee bit of a touch. He looks back to see if they're all right, and then lets them go ahead again as the white flag comes out.
So it's the 88 of Josh Wells, Regan Feck leading the way here from Paul Anderson and Nick Case in that second place, and Mike Warwood, Stephen Burrows still there in that third position. But make no bones about it, Josh Wells, Regan Feck with a handy margin here will take the win. It looks like it's going to be the 96 of Mike Warwood and Stephen Burrows that will take that second position, overhauling Paul Anderson and Nick Case as they came out of turn 4 and just pipping them at the post. So, sidecars round 3, heat 4, Southern Bolts and Fasteners, 3NZ, Andrew Buchanan, Denny Cox from Moore Park are in gate 1. Jason Kennedy, Johnny Casey, the 34 bike, they are in gate 2. Ricky Kane, Broden Johnson, the 86 bike are in gate 3, and Scott Ado and Dylan Carney are in gate 4 on that 19 bike.
well, certainly one of the top contenders here, wearing that 3NZ number at the moment. Andrew Buchanan, Denny Cox, starting from gate 1. We're hoping that 19, your local pairing, Scott Ado and Dylan Carney, have a better run this time. They're on the outside on 4. Broden Johnson in behind Ricky Kane.
So tapes up and away they go. From the inside, it looked like the 3NZ of Andrew Buchanan, Denny Cox, that once again put the starter on the field. They've got Scott Ado, Dylan Carney sitting there in second place, Jason Kennedy, Johnny Casey sitting there in third, and then Ricky Kane, Broden Johnson back there in fourth position. But it's the 3NZ of Andrew Buchanan and Denny Cox that lead the way now. Johnny Casey, Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey putting a bit of pressure on Scott Ado and Dylan Carney as they go down into turns 3 and 4. And in fourth place is Ricky Kane and Broden Johnson. But 3NZ, Andrew Buchanan, Denny Cox with a handy 8 or 10 bike length lead from Scott Ado, Dylan Carney as they head down that back straight once again with Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey still there in that third position.
Yes, Buchanan and Cox, they go through on the white flag. Ado and Carney have cemented that second position. Jason Kennedy, John Casey made the mistake of taking that permacoating turn too wide last time, and they lost some ground on Ado. In they come. Checkered flag, 3NZ, home first from 19, Scott Ado and Dylan Carney. In third place will be the 34, Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey. And rounding out the field, the 86 of Ricky Kane and Broden Johnson. 73.28, 70, that's picked the pace up again. 73.28 was the race time win for 3, Andrew Buchanan and Denny Cox. Right, we're rolling on to the last heat of this section. 95, Erwin Tree, Nigel Cookout, Oreti from 1, Jamie Muins, Stephen Tomlinson from Kiki on 2 on the 14 bike. 64, Sam Sadley, Tony McKenzie from Nelson on 3, 58, Aidan Thwaite, Shane Twist on the outside on 4. As Joe Hughes puts the thumb up, they all ready, Pete Stedding's happy, off they go. Oh, brilliant start from the outside. Was 58, Aidan Thwaites and Shane Twist. They've had some momentum. They've lost a wee bit out there as they fight for that second position, chasing Jamie Millen and Stephen Tomlinson, who made the gate from grid 2. Nigel Erwin Tree it is, moving into the second place now as Thwaites drops in behind. Cookout doing the swinging on the side. They close up on Millen. They see a gap. They go down the back straight, neck and neck. Into the Newfield Autos turn. Does the Newfield Autos pilot go? He drifts down in front of the field. Millen sticking on in behind him, tucked right in behind. 58, Aidan Thwaite, Shane Twist in there as well. Just closing up. The tree machine got it wrong going out of the Newfield Autos turn. It was too, but it's now Millen.
So Jamie Millen getting chased hard here now by Aidan Thwaites and Shane Twist as they go through turns 1 and 2 once again. Down that back straight they go, past the Sono sound system sign they go, down into turns 3 and 4. It's Jamie Millen, Stephen Tomasin leading the way from Aidan Thwaites and Shane Twist, and the 64 bike of Sam Satherley and Tony McKenzie taking that third place. Well, you've got a feel for Erwin Tree and Nigel Cookout just overcooking it a little down there in turn 2 and heading to the infield. But Jamie Millen, Stephen Tomasin taking the win from Aidan Thwaites and Shane Twist in that second place, and Sam Satherley and Tony McKenzie from Nelson ending up in that third position.
74.85 is the time.
It's mag wheel sale time at Mag and Turbo. We've got 14-inch mags for $99, 15-inch mags $129, and 17-inch mags from $169. Finance is available, but only from Mag and Turbo.
At Hanna Holiday Homes, they pride themselves on offering accommodation solutions to suit almost any budget. Only a short 95 minutes from Christchurch, tucked away beneath the mountains, is Hamner Springs, a nature's wonderland. Whether you're looking for a home the whole family can enjoy, have a barbecue and let the children play free, or a quiet hideaway for two in a peaceful retreat, from the larger house to the small, Hamner Holiday Homes offer it all. HamnerHolidayHomes.com. Book now.
Want a great night out for all the family? Want great value? Need excitement? Need action, thrills, speed and spills? Then you need to be at your local Speedway's next race meeting. It's got it all! Speedway, the entertainment sport.
Hi, I'm Scott Williamson and welcome to X Factor Cars. Family owned and operated with 2 locations, Invercargill and Cromwell. Specialising in everything V8 from Holden Ford, HSV, FPV, and with Southland's biggest selection of American muscle, we've got most bases covered. You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. Get the X Factor.
Yes. So those that are up in the points, up with the holding the 8 and 9 points, 7, 8, 9 points, are all in there with a chance. There's quite a few of them, but this time, Tapes going away, they go from the middle. It looked like the 16 of Jason Harper and Mark George got away pretty smartly, but Paul Humphrey, Pat Larson beat the whole lot of them. Jason Harper, Mark George sitting there in second, they go wide. But then there's a wee bit of a problem. Somebody there, who was that? That was Paul Humphreys
Yep.
and Pat Larson.
They struck a few problems in there and they all bulked up. And
the 32 of Jamie Pocklington and Nathan Cannon have gone through into first place. Second place is Paul Humphrey, Pat Larson, and third place is Jason Harper, Mark George, Stan Ross, Chris Leedon go to the infield.
Yeah,
so
Chris,
at the moment, it's Jamie Pocklington, Nathan Cannon.
Chris Leedon not very happy with that. They balked on that turn as well, and I think they had to come and field. So I think that's what he was protesting about, but it's certainly a good run here from Jamie Pocklington and Nathan Cannon out the front, being chased pretty hard by Paul Humphreys and Patrick Larson. Jason Harper, Mark George sitting out there. Red flag coming out. I'm not sure
And
whether
who caused that?
Not sure whether they're going to replay.
We get a replay of that or not?
All in restart. All in restart. This is
what we're hearing from the officials.
Well, certainly it was shown there was 2 ends of the track, Pete. There was some problems with the just freshly watered, just the time to settle in. They walked down that end and they got away with it. It was Humphreys that came in first and caused the rest of them to collect up. And then when they all recovered, it happened down this far end.
So once again, Jamie Pocklington, Nathan Cannon will line up in gate 1 on that 32 bike. Paul Humphrey, Pat Larson from Palmerston in gate 2, the 78 bike, the 16 bike of Jason Harper, Mark George from Oreti gate 3, and Stan Ross, Chris Leedon on the 84 bike from Oreti gate 4. Just lining them up, take 2. Tapes up and away they go. This time the 78 bike, Paul Humphrey and Patrick Larson got away pretty smartly. Jason Harper, Mark George are right in there amongst it as well, along with Jamie Pocklington and Nathan Cannon. There's a bit of a battle on for 2 and 3 here as they head down into that ILT Foundation turn. It's Paul Humphreys and Pat Larson that are just making the best of it. Oh, Jamie Pocklington, Nathan Cannon head to the infield. Jason Harper, Mark George move up into second. Stan Ross, Chris Leedon sitting there in third place. So that was a bit of a shame for those guys. So Jason Harper, Mark George, as they go back down into the talking heads here turn, it looks like they're trying to put a bit of pressure on Paul Humphrey, Pat Larson. It didn't quite pay off for them. They lost a bit of ground as they come back down through into turns 1 and 2 through the Rogers Yamaha turn they go. Paul Humphreys, Pat Larson still in front of Jason Harper, Mark George from Oreti on that 16 bike. Stan Ross, Chris Leedon still there in third position. The white flag will come out this time. It's Paul Humphreys and Pat Larson.
Yes, and they go on through into that McLeod diesel turn, sitting out mid-track again. Bit more drive there this time. Jason Harper, Mark George in that second position, followed by Stan Ross and Chris Leed, and that's the way they'll finish. Freshly groomed track, a little bit tricky there. 78, Paul Humphrey, Patrick Larson, home first from 16 from Oreti, Jason Harper, Mark George. The Palmerston All pairing does too good in that one. Stan Ross, Chris Leedon on bike 84 in that third spot. Very, very unfortunate for Jamie Pockington and Nathan Cannon. They had the lead in that first one until it was stopped for the rerun.
So, Southern Bolts and Fasteners Sidecars round 3, heat 7. 47.80 Drake and Kieran Satherley from Nelson are in gate 1. Gate 2 is Fraser and Johnny Gillespie on that 11 bike. Craig McMaster, James Dawson from Oreti on the 43 bike, gate 3. Grant Lightfoot, Phil Rooney, gate 4. Also from Oreti.
Racing this time, and a good start from the outside. McMaster pulls away, gets down quickly. Craig McMaster, James Dawson leading them out, but then they've dropped out too high, and they've dropped out because 17 it is. Lightfoot and Rooney get to the front. McMaster and Dawson trying to come round the outside. They do that. They get round the Lightfoot and Rooney. Fraser and Johnny Gillespie holding that third position from the 47 bike of 80 Drake and Kieran Satherley from Nelson. The Gillespies pick some drive up. They're close on Lightfoot's tail this time. Sitting out wide, powering round the outside. Still McMaster and Dawson in front. Lightfoot still got the second position. Then comes the Gillespies in third. Now they're challenged by the 47.80 Drake, Kieran Satherley on Gillespie's tail. Down the back straight. While all this is happening, McMaster and Dawson jump out to a good lead.
So McMaster and Dawson leading the way here. Fraser and Johnny Gillespie.
They got a problem.
They've struck a problem. So it's Lightfoot and Rooney that are coming under pressure now from Fraser and Johnny Gillespie as they head down that back straight for the final time. 80 Drake, Kieran Satherley go up into second place. Lightfoot overcooks it and heads to the infield. So Fraser and Johnny Gillespie, they're going to race to the line. They take first place. Absolutely fantastic. Second place going to 80 Drake and Kieran Satherley. Grant Lightfoot and Phil Rooney coming under a bit of pressure on that back straight and overcooking it and running infield. So, heat 8 of the sidecars in round 3 of the Southern Bolts and Fasteners New Zealand Sidecar Champs qualifying. The 4K bike from Kihi, Dave Gannon and Raymond George. The 74, Corey Lang and Gus Elliott, gate 2. Lionel Green, Shane Breachner in gate 3. And gate 4 is the 22 bike from Oreti of Daniel Harper and Brad Waddock.
Well, certainly Corey Lang and Luke or Gus Elliott, as we know, and they've had a few hassles. Brother Scott there doing the pushing. Doesn't seem to want to fire up for them too easily. They'll be the last ones to come into line. David Cannon, Raymond George from Kiki on gate 1, bike 4. 74, Corey Lang, Luke Elliott, Moore Park on 2. 73, Lionel Green, Shane Breach, Moore Park on 3. 22, Daniel Harper, Brad Waddock, Oreti 4.
Tapes up and away they go. Who gets the best of it? Lionel Green, Shane Breach got away pretty smartly, but it was down on the inside. Dave Gannon, Raymond George, they go a little bit wide. Lionel Green, Shane Breach come out in front as they come out of turns 1 and 2. Dave Gannon, Raymond George sitting there in second place. Corey Lang, Gus Elliott third place, and Daniel Harper, Brad Waddock are in fourth position. There's not a lot in it at the moment as they head back down through that Rogers Yamaha turn. It's Lionel Green, Shane Breach, the second place getters of Dave Gannon, Raymond George. They get it a little bit wide, but Corey Lang, Gus Elliott didn't quite take advantage of it. They're still sitting there in third place, but it's Lionel Green and Shane Breach as they go through turns 1 and 2 once again. Second place, still that 4K bike.
The bike's broken down. There's some problems there.
Bit of a shame for Lionel Green, Shane Breach. The white flag comes out. It's Dave Gannon and Raymond George from Kihi that are leading the way.
Yes, no, this Shane Breach is looking there. Lionel Green puts his hand up. They've had some problems with that. We can tell you about that later on. Correct. But out in front, it is Dave Gannon and Raymond George. Corey Lang, Gus Elliott moved through into that second position, and they'll take that from the 22 of Daniel Harper and Brad Waddock.
So we're getting down to the thick end of it now, or the skinny end of it if you like. Sean Kerr, Robin Poole from Oreti, Darren down in gate 1 on that 48 bike. Clint Warwood, Sonia Duncan from Ruapuna on the 98 bike in gate 2. Gate 4 is Chris Early and Nathan Davis from Oreti on that 72 bike. Southern Bolts and Fasters, Heat 9, round 3. Pete Stenning helping the gardening to be done down there for Sean Kerr and Robin Paul.
Looks like the bike wanted to run forward.
So they've just picked a different line here now.
No brakes.
So Sean Kerr, Robin Paul, they get a fantastic gate. The 98 of Clint Warwood, Sonia Duncan sitting there in second place. Chris Early, Nathan Davis in third. So Sean Kerr, Robin Paul, they streak out to an early lead here as they fire it down into the E. Hayes and Sons turn, and out they come, sitting fairly wide on the track. Coming up into second place, or looking for second, is Nathan Davis, Chris Early and Nathan Davis. But it's still Clint Warwood, Sonia Duncan that are sitting in that second position. But Sean Kerr, Robin Paul, they're out to a handy lead here now as they go through that Aidan Barron building turn with Chris Early, Nathan Davis and Clint Warwood, Sonia Duncan.
Challenge coming on there. They're looking to go around the outside of Chris Early and Nathan Davis. They do so. They pick the pace up and head into that Talking Heads turn. The white flag comes out for Sean Kerr and Robin Paul. There's still the challenge coming back on there with Chris Early and Nathan Davis. They get back in front of Warwood and Duncan. Now Warwood and Duncan go wide. Early comes out of that turn a little bit better. So they've regained the second position. Into the Hayes and Sons turn for the last time, 44. Sean Kerr, Robin Paul pick up the win, 72. Chris Early, Nathan Davies will come home in second after a good battle with Clint Warwood and Sonia Duncan on bike 98, who come home in third position.
So we'll see the 6 of Derek Ramsey and Matthew Ramsey from Palmerston North taking gate 1 here. Gate 2 will be Claire Hartnell, Tracy Davison, and gate 3, Tim Plummer and Sian Plummer from Rosebank will be in gate 4.
Tim and Sian just on the outside here. They're the first ones that's ready, concentrating. The girls, the pink ladies, Claire Hartnell, Tracy Davidson, sitting down there. They'll all walk away. Off they go, and we expected to see a good start from the inside. Derek and Matthew Ramsey get the jump into that corner. Tim and Sian Plummer holding that second position from Claire Hartnell and Tracy Davidson on bike 85. Stretched out already, just watching the lines they take. Derek Ramsey just opting to stay out higher on the track. Cuts down a little bit, but off the worn line. Just trying to chase a little bit of dirt out wider. Continues to pull away from the rest of the field. 71, Tim and Sian Plummer in that second position, just tightening up the turn a little bit. Just doing it nice and steady with Claire Hartnell and Tracy Davidson in that third position. A little bit taily out there as the sun here today in Oreti starts to dry the track out in the dying stages of this meeting. But the white flag out for Derek and Matthew Ramsey from Palmerston North.
Derek and Matthew Ramsey with a pretty handy lead as they come out of turns 1 and 2 for the final time and head down that back straight. Down into the ILT Foundation turn they go. Second place still Tim and Sian Plummer. Claire Hartnell, Tracy Davison trying everything they can. But they're just that wee bit too far behind to make any real impression. So they will take third. Second place goes to Tim Plummer and Sian Plummer. And first place, as I say, Derek and Matthew Ramsey, who built up a very handy buffer throughout the race to take that first place.
76.10, 76.10 was the race time for 6 Derek and Matthew Ramsey from Palmerston North.
So, the 4 of them lining up here, Glenn Murray and Plummer, the 21 bike from Palmerston North. Tony Hislop, Mitch Byers from Palmerston North, that 77 bike sitting in gate 2. From Rosebank, the 26 of Peter Adams, Jason Hare and Ada Ching.
Racing and off they go. A good start on the inside there. Oh, the boys, Adams and Jason Herrera got bumped around and Herrera nearly came off, but he stayed on. They're now moving up around the outside of 77. Tony Hislop and Mitch Byers to get that second position, but they're chasing Glenn Murray and Ann Plummer. Red flag, is it? Well, Yes, it sounds like there's a red flag. I imagine that'll be something to do with that first corner, because they really got crowded a bit tight there, and man, oh man, Jason Herrera was lucky to stay seated. So we see a replay of that as they come through. Brilliant replay, Southern bolts and fasteners. So we're lining up again. We'll just see what happens. Racing this time and away a bit cleaner, nice and steady, but it's still Glenn Murray and Ann Plummer from Great Ones got out in front. Pushing through is Tony Hislop and Mitch Byers. They've got to the second position. Back at the tail of the field was Peter Adams and Jason Herrera, but they've made one spot up already, got round Nathan Ching and Shay McWilliam. Glenn Murray and Plummer out in front. Tony Hislop, Mitch Byers from Palmerston North just doing the business in the second position, and the Peter Adams and Jason Herrera from Rosebank in trailing in third at the moment. They've got a lot of ground to make up. They're just covering Nippy Ching and Shay McWilliam, but I'm not sure they're looking at. They just let them go ahead. Now they've dropped to the tail of the field, so we'll just see what happens, whether there's a problem with the bike or they've thought they had impeded them or something. We're not sure, but it's Glenn Murray and Plummer, Pete, that pick up the white flag.
So, yes, followed by the 77 of Tony Hislop. Mitch Byers still there in that second place, and the 99 of Nathan Ching and Shay McWilliam in that third place. Through they come. Through that Seabright turn, Tony Hislop, Mitch Byers on that 21 bike, takes win Glenn Murray and Plummer, Then the 77 of Tony Hislop, Mitch Byers in that second place. Then the 8 bike of Nathan Ching and Shay McWilliam from Nelson take out third. And Peter Adams and Jason Hire from Rosebank come into that fourth position.
We have a race
time
of 74.57, 74.57. I'm not sure, Pete, but I think the tyre on Peter Adams and Jason Herrera on the 85 bike may have just had enough. They seem to be struggling with some traction through there.
Certainly did. So the 71 bike of Tim and Sian Plummer. The 23 bike of Kevin McDonald, Carl Hosey. The 84 bike of Stan Ross and Chris Leedon. And the 72 bike of Chris Early and Nathan Davis. Just waiting on it, Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey. They're just making their way down the pit chute now. They will fill up the fifth position. So we get a bit of a handle on where they're going to sort themselves out. Warwick, it looks like Chris Early, Nathan Davis have gone into gate 2. It looks like the 34 of Jason Kennedy, Johnny Casey are in gate 1. 71, Tim and Sian Plummer, gate 3. Stan Ross, Chris Leedon, the 84 bike in gate 4. And Kevin McDonald, Carl Hosey right here on the outside in that 23 bike.
Yes, it'll be a bit tighter into the first turn. There's an extra bike.
Yes,
there,
an extra bike here in this heat. The 5 of them all tied on points. Tapes up and away they go. Oh, 71, the Plumbers, they had trouble getting away from the line, but it's the 34 of Jason Kennedy, Johnny Casey that are sitting there in first place. Kevin McDonald, Carl Hosey overhaul them as they head down into that South Coast Customs turn. Sitting there in second place, Jason Kennedy, Johnny Casey. Third place is Stan Ross, Chris Leedon, and then we've got Chris Early and Nathan Davis. But it's Kevin McDonald, Carl Hosey as they come out of that Permacoat. Oh, there's somebody goes round and over again. Oh, the red flag will come out for that.
Yeah, Kennedy and Casey got crossed up there and tipped over. I think before that it might have been
Stan Ross and Chris Leedon.
So it may have been a little bit of evasive action being taken there.
We'll leave that one up to the officials to see if there is going to be any exclusion or whether there'll be a restart. They were in the second lap. I'd imagine if somebody caused the incident for Jason and Johnny Casey to
well, hard to say. Does we get the replay here as they go around? Stan was going first.
Oh, they both went.
What
They
about
did it to themselves.
a second apart?
Remember, the winner of this goes through to the repechage. Tapes up, they're underway once again. Kev McDonald, Carl Hosey get away pretty smarty, but it's Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey in that second place. Chris Early, Nathan Davis sitting there in that third place. So it looks like Tim and Sian Plummer have gone to the infield. They've called it quits. So Kev McDonald, Carl Hosey, they've got a 3 or 4 bike length over Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey. Chris Early, Nathan Davis still sitting there in that third place. Kev McDonald, Carl Hosey, pretty smooth out of that total conveyor turn. Back down into the South Coast Customs turn they go, with about 5 or 6 bike lengths over Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey, Chris Early and Nathan Davis. Through that Rogers Yamaha turn they go once again. Kev McDonald, Carl Hosey keeping it all together here. It looks like Chris Early, Nathan Davis have called it quits as well. So it's just Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey left in the hunt here. Kev McDonald, Carl Hosey will get that white flag. Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey still there in that second place. Down the back straight for the final time. Kev McDonald, Carl Hosey. Through the Newfield Autos turn they go. Out they come. The checkered flag awaits them. They will be the guys that go through to the repechage. Jason Kennedy and Johnny Casey having to be content with second place there. Hard luck for Chris Early and Nathan Davis, who ended up going infield along with Tim and Sian Plummer, who obviously had a bike problem. They were a bit slow off the start, and then the bike seemed to stop down there in turn 1. So hard luck for them. So Kev McDonald, Carl Hosey, they've done it the hard way, and they're through into the repechage. Remember, it's the first 2 out of each repechage that will make up the final 16. There's 12 already through to the new. As Warwick mentioned, the first 2 are through for tomorrow in the New Zealand Southern Bolts and Fasteners New Zealand Sidecar Champs.
Third becomes a reserve. Right, so it's sitting on 1 there. Irwin Tree, Nigel Cookout. Teammates, Luke Thwaites, Neville Chalmers, 29 on gate 2. 88, Josh Wells, Regan Feet going from gate 3. From Nelson, 8, Nippy Ching, or Nathan Ching and Shay McWilliam from 4. And all their teammates from Nelson, 80, Drake and Kieran Satherley on bike 47 from 5.
So it's on for young and old here. These guys are going to be desperate. 2 of them have got to want to get in. The whole lot of them want to get in, but 2 of them are only going to get in. Tapes up and away they go. The 88 got away pretty smartly. Irwin Tree, Nigel Cookout with the first ones down of that turn. There's a hell of a bunch up. They've left the gap open for 80 Drake and Kieran Satherley. They could throw a blanket over them. Who was at the shot down the outside? 80 Thwaites and Neville Chalmers. Luke Thwaites, sorry, and Neville Chalmers coming through into that first place. Irwin Tree, Nigel Cookout sitting there in second. Then third place, it looks like it's the green bike, 80 Drake, Kieran Satherley having a battle there for third. They've been overhauled again by Josh Wells and Regan Feck as they go down into turns 3 and 4 once again. But it's Luke Thwaites, Neville Chalmers leading the way from Irwin Tree, Nigel Cookout, the 88 of Josh Wells and Regan Feck still sitting there in third place. 80 Drake, Kieran Satherley still there in fourth. And in fifth place is Nathan Ching and Shay McWilliams. Through they come once again. Luke Thwaites, Neville Chalmers, bring them home.
Yes, no, these 2 are out front. They've got it quite cemented at the moment. There's still a hell of a battle going on. It's Josh Wells chasing pretty hard. Regan Fick, they've drifted out wide. That's let 80 Drake come through and Kieran Satherley. But the first 2, that's where you've got to be. Out in front, 29, Luke Thwaites, Neville Chalmers. They go through. So too does 95, Irwin Tree and Nigel Cookout. Third home in that one was the 47 from Nelson, 80 Drake and Kieran Satherley, followed in by the 88, Josh Wells and Regan Feet. And rounding out the field was the 8 in Nathan Ching and Shay McWilliam.
Well done, boys. Luke Thwaites, Neville Chalmers, Irwin Tree, Nigel Cookout get to represent Oreti Park tomorrow, along with the other ones in the Southern Bolts and Fasteners New Zealand Sidecar Champs. Right, heat 2 of the Repechage, or Repechage 2 as it were.
Oh, the timekeepers have gone to sleep.
Craig McMaster, James Dawson, they'll go out of gate 2 on the 43 bike. Gate 1 is Peter Adams and Jason here on the 26 bike, or the 85 bike it is, but anyway. Gate 3 is Jason Harper, Mark George on the 16 bike. Corey Lang, Gus Elliott go out of gate 4 on the 74 bike. And the 23 of Kevin McDonald and Carl Hosey go out of gate 5.
Well, I didn't find out what the problem was. I didn't get down to see them, Craig McMaster, James Dawson, because they only had to get a point in their last heat. They would have been through. Now they're facing a Repechage, but they're in there on gate 2. The ones to what Peter Adams, Jason Herrera have got that 85 bike flying, although it did struggle with the surface in the last one. They start from gate 1. Kevin McDonald qualified in that runoff, goes from the same gate position again, gate 5 on bike 23, and 74 Corey Lang and Gus Elliott come in on gate 4. Same deal, first 2 through, third place takes the position as a reserve. All lining up. Last one for the day, qualifying. Southern Bolts and Fastest New Zealand Sidecar Championships. They're all ready. There was a movement from the front, from what I saw down on gate 1, and then McMaster balked. He saw it and he moved. I'm not sure about the rest of them. Where's the replay? Here it goes. He's pointing the finger straight to gate 1. You did it. And I went. So we'll wait and see.
Anyway, lining back up again. Peter Adams, Jason Hera. In beside them, the 16 of Jason Harper, Mark George, Corey Lang, Gus Elliott. Out here in gate 4 and out in gate 5, Kevin McDonald and Carl Hosey. Here we go. Once again.
So we're in line, the last one's coming in, Corey Lang, Gus Elliott. Pete Stennings is correct, Joe Hughes is right, the red. Off they go this time, cleaner this time. Kevin McDonald, Carl Hosey got a flyer from the outside, but evenly matched from the inside with Peter Adams and Jason Herrera. The 16 of Jason Harper, Mark George made a good start too. They put the pressure on McDonald, he's got to go wide. He's trying to tramp round the outside. Harper and George chasing pretty hard as the Aucklanders, Peter Adams, Jason Hera. They've got the front on the Pink Ladies bike, a little bit squirrely there. Harper had to back off as they came out of that turn, but it's still Adams and Hera out in front. Harper and George in behind. Here comes McDonald. He's decided we'll have a look too. If Harper goes wide, I'll come in. No, I'm going to go wide. I'm going to try around the outside. Can I get some drive? Lang and Elliott just sitting in there behind, trailing in the third spot at the moment. They're swinging on round. The white flag's coming out. So Peter Adams and Jason Herrera on the Pink Ladies 85 bike just leading the way. One more lap to go out of the Permacoat roofing turn. They've gone wide. McDonald's making a push on the inside. Here comes Harper. McDonald's back on Harper's tail. They've all closed up for the run home. 26 Peter Adams. Jason Herrera's going to get through the second spot. Harper on the line. Harper just hanging on to that second spot on the line. These boys, well, girls, you won't be buying or making tea tonight, I can tell you that. You've probably got a free weekend out of these fellas. Brilliant win there from 26.
Peter Adams, Jason Hera taking the win. A hard-fought second from Jason Harper, Mark George, who got chased pretty hard all the way by Kevin McDonald and Carl Hosey.